Hey, YouTube Brando here. This is going to be my VR for Silvernut FL. I will leave a link below to his channel so you can go click on it, check him out. Obviously, he's a silver stacker, does silver videos, which I've been getting into more and more silver videos lately as I'm trying to, extend my collection. But he's doing a giveaway and he wants to see a book review. Now, some of you know I do book reviews from time to time here on YouTube, but I only ever review prepper books, survival books, pamphlets, stuff like that, emergency, whatever. I've only ever done a book review on one book that didn't have to do with prepping, and it was on zombies, and it was called Ground Zero. I did that review probably the better part of a year ago, and I promised in that video that I would do a review on the second book, which is Die Trying. There's actually 4 books, I believe, in the series. I'm not sure if, they're all with the same apocalypse or whatever, but I'm pretty sure this one has to do with the same zombie apocalypse as the first one. So on with the book review. I'm not completely through with the book yet. I'm a little over 3/4 of the way. I can tell you I'm a bit disappointed in this one, but the only reason I am is because it doesn't follow book 1. So it's completely another story, different characters. And let me explain. Book 1 ended well. Like, what happens, kind of what happens to the people that's in it. At the end of book 1, they're running for sanctuary through the whole book. They finally find sanctuary. I was hoping book 2 was going to feed off of that story, right? So it didn't. It has nothing to do with that story, or at least none of what I've read so far. But, I might be mistaken. They may reference something from the first book in the second book. But it's been a long time since I've read the first book. It took me a while before I started reading this one. And like I said, I'm not completely done with it yet, so maybe the stories will cross paths. I'm not sure. That being said, I think the second book is just as good a read as the first book. I was just invested in the characters in the first book. Ground Zero, not very action-packed. This one's not either. Doesn't have a lot to do with the zombie apocalypse. Has more to do with the people trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. So it's not. Book 1 starts off Ground Zero, obviously. Day 1 of infection starts off with, the very first person. It's a terrorist. Spoiler alert. A terrorist releases the virus into himself and then spreads it throughout a boat, which spreads to the port, which spreads to, I believe it's based in Los Angeles, I'm not sure. But it jumps around the story a little bit, then it tells the story of a group of people hiding out in the building. Then it tells, who makes it out of the building and where they're going and how they get there and all that good stuff. This book actually starts off 23 days into the apocalypse, so it might actually take part after Ground Zero did. I hope I'm saying that right. Like, Ground Zero happened, and then 23 days later, those people find sanctuary, and that's where this one actually starts off. But the good thing is you will not be lost from book 1 to book 2. So if you just picked up Die Trying and started reading it, it would be a decent read no matter what. Just like Ground Zero. I think Ground Zero was a good read too. And I'm not saying that this is a bad read. I think it's a great read, actually. I just wish it would have followed the original story with the original characters. It's kind of like you get invested in a storyline, kind of like the show True Detective with, it's on HBO, Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson. I got really invested in those characters in the first season, and they ended the story great, like what happens. But I was hoping season 2 would pick up with them and another story. It didn't, and it was a disappointment. So I guess it's the same concept when you read these books, for me anyway. The only disappointment being that it wasn't about the original character. So you're going to have new characters in this one. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like that through all 4 books. The other 2 books are Dead Rage and Zombie War. Again, I'm not sure if it's all the same zombie apocalypse deal, like it's all happening during the same time or one after another or anything like that. I don't even know if those books have anything to do with these 2. But I know that this one is the same apocalypse that happens in Ground Zero. Like I said, it just happened in 23 days into it instead of the first day for Ground Zero. So all in all, I think it's a good book so far. I'm going to give it a read all the way through, and then I'm going to go pick up Dead Rage. I can tell you this book right here was on sale on Amazon for like 99 cents. Well worth $1 for this book. In fact, I think I paid like close to 10 for Ground Zero, and I thought it was a good read. This is just as good a read as Ground Zero, so I would have probably paid $10 for the book. I don't know what it costs now, but I know, like I said, for a while it was on sale for 99 cents. So not a bad price, not a bad read. If you get a chance, take a look. That's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching, YouTube.